Okay, y'all, I got a couple of topics that I want to talk about, and I'm gonna jump right into it. So, you know, glad that we started as a people now. We're having dialogue and starting to, talk to one another. Short distance, long distance. That's a good thing about social media. We can reach people in long distant places, and you know, in real time. So, I'm glad to start having this dialogue and somewhat recognize the problem out here that we're facing, but we're missing the root of it all. Somewhere of all of this, there's a trickster, deceiver, and a mastermind who is good at and has mastered the art of manipulation, y'all. Now, all I see mostly on social media is men bashing women, women bashing men, and you know, talking about how we're not for each other. Now, my question is, when are we not for each other? Uh, when have we been not been made for each other? So answer me that. I have to keep you in mind that this was all by design. This was all by design. Now, the majority of these women have been tricked, and they have noticed that they are a beautiful creature. Women have noticed that they are a beautiful creature and or species, and now they're using it for their vanity. Look up the word vanity, women. A woman used to be useful on how she can help a man have a family and flourish. To have a kingdomship, which includes land, livestock, shelter, crops, and clothing of that sort. You know, Now somehow men have lost sight of that as well and started to focus on a woman's looks. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how she look in the curves, my face. Again, that beauty and the vanity of a woman. Granddaddy and the elders and dad and them used to say, "Son, find you a good woman to be with." That entails of a woman not of this world. And if you know what I mean when I say not of this world, uh, if you know, you know. So now these days, men want a pretty face and a proportioned body. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the value of a woman. So, as time had progressed, women only want to bring looks to the table and not the works. And when I mean works, that means the help uh, that I spoke on earlier. Now, how did we get here? Well, it was all orchestrated, y'all, long ago, by these master deceivers, tricksters, and masterminds being good at their manipulation. And it still goes on today. It's been going on for as long as I can remember, you can remember, your granddad and grandfolks can remember. Um, they have mastered that art of how they control. It's genetically coded that a man is built different from a woman. Man was built to carry the heavy load and wired to take risks on creating and leading. Women was made to help with the rest, y'all, and support him in that. Uh, that's the lesser load. She was made to support him with the lesser load. Okay. Now the Most High and the ancient people of days um, had and still have a bond or connection, and they share knowledge, which is power. Now this bond of power created civilization and creation. Um, and they vowed to lead and protect it, the people of old age, the ancient ones. Um, Now, we shared this creativity with the people who had no knowledge of a higher being than themselves. The ancient ones helped them build the nation to civilize it these uncivilized people liked it, and they became envious and wanted it for themselves. Now, in the process, becoming an enemy to the ones who helped them civilize themselves and become a nation. Now, it started when these uncivilized savages from the caves started to cross these borders into ancient territory. They weren't civil, and the ancient ones led them right back to the caves from which they came from, tied them together by ropes, y'all, and then naming the place where the caves was from Europe. They led them by ropes, naming their country Europe, which is modern day Europe. So, y'all just do your homework on that. Well, these savages would eventually come back out of the caves and start crossing the borders with the intent to steal, kill, and destroy the ancient ones from the inside until they had enough knowledge and skills to go to war with them. Go to war with the same ones that taught them this knowledge, y'all. Keep that in mind. Go to war with the same ones that taught them this knowledge. Okay. And at that moment, the now and later was so sweet that they could go to war and act if they were the creators and creators of civilization and have that connection to the Most High God themselves. That bond. They wanted that bond with the Most High Creator for themselves. They stole the knowledge that was supposed to be sacred and was supposed to be a secret to the masses. That knowledge was supposed to be a secret to the masses because, now keep this in mind, everybody is not ready for power. Everybody can't handle power. It comes with great responsibility. Keep that in mind. So the only people who had this power were the leaders, priests, and or chosen few who had possession of this knowledge. They were the ones that could and had the wisdom to know how to use it and not abuse it. So they saw when they applied this to the masses that it worked. When they applied this type of knowledge to the masses, it worked. And they was like, wow, if we apply this knowledge that we stole, it'll work for our good. Okay? This is the enemy I'm talking about. Now that the enemy noticed they could not have wars with anybody and a great chance of winning with other people and, like I said, other countries. Using this against the masses of the ancient ones as well, the ones who taught them. And it's still going on to this day, y'all. To this day, it's being used on the masses of people. Okay, so it was once the wife of an ancient soldier that would die to protect her husband and the kingdom if he was out in the field and away. She was always to defend that. If she was in a situation where she had to have sex with the enemy, then it was so. Because it was later to kill and defeat the enemy for the greater cause of the kingdom. It was for survival. Now, this is what I want to know. Women and men. Now, how does one now sleep openly with the enemy? Come on, y'all gotta answer me that. Leave a comment or something. Let's dialogue. How does one now openly and freely sleep with the enemy? It's a tactic, y'all. It goes back to the manipulation, the deception, and the trickster being good at the art, what he does. It helps tear down the family. Now, the family, the man and the woman is the highest creation that God has made. The union between man and woman is the highest contract that will be between man and woman. There is no higher union than that. There is no higher contract than that. That is the greatest union God has put together. So keep that in mind. So we're going to fast forward years, centuries forward. And the knowledge is so powerful, y'all, at this time. Now, the Greek has to keep it a secret. Now, through generations and generations, the original people, the ancient ones, and the people who had control of it has lost the knowledge, has lost that power because the generations and generations are no longer learning. It was stolen from them and not taught to the rightful owners of that. So they have no awareness of this power that they're supposed to inherit. The blessings, y'all. They supposed to have been inheriting these blessings, but an unsavage people came along and stole it. Stole your inheritance. And say it again. You were supposed to be blessed with an inheritance. And an unsavage people came along and stole the blessings from you. Okay? Now, so they keep it a secret. The Greeks keep it a secret at that time. And then they figured, okay, how could we take control? And now they say, okay, well, we'll come up with a system where only members and who agreed or sworn to use it could be initiated and use this power. We'll give it to them. Members and the ones who have sworn to use it. And they use it for deceiving, trickery, and manipulation. To and on the masses of people. The sheep, y'all. They use it on the sheep. The people, the lower class, everybody. Black, white. Now, it wasn't always white, but the blacks and the slaves, okay? But they became so good at the knowledge that they won wars with this knowledge and used it on many nations to gain control. Now, what did they use it and how did they use it? They used it in schools, religion, banking, housing, books, media. This is how in agriculture, this is how they use it to deceive you, trick you, and manipulate you. Fast forward again, thousands of years later and centuries later. Now, this knowledge had been used against Black America. And now, white America also has fallen into that for years to this day, y'all. So now, later we have a thing where women wanted to be equal to a man. Now, that goes back to what I was saying. Now, man or the enemy had studied the woman and knew that if I can get in between the highest union God has created, which is man and woman, I can cause a downfall with my trickery, deceptions, and manipulations. And so the woman has been given that power. She has been allowed to have that power and also that knowledge to kill off her own species. Going somewhere with this, y'all. She has been given the power and the knowledge to kill off her own species. She was manipulated into wanting that power. Now, the manipulation and trickery in that is she don't know that the power would be born through her. The power would be born through her. That's references to the Mother Mary with Jesus. The power would be born through Mary. That's why Mary was chosen. She wasn't of the world. She was pure. And God knew that she wouldn't turn her back on him. And she wouldn't go out here and be of this world. She was holy, so to speak. So she was manipulated into wanting that power. The power to be a trickster, deceitful, manipulator, and to be a man. She wanted equality too. You know, a lot of women out here now want the equality of a man. Again, that's part of it. Now, most of that power is and was learned from the manipulators, deceivers, and tricksters themselves. And the majority of these people learned it. To this day, they learn it from some type of group setting, some type of organization, which is the court systems, the churches, the schools, government, secret societies, so to speak. Now, I would say it's okay to learn, but if you're using it for someone else's downfall, y'all, then you are that enemy. You know, you are that enemy and that follower of Satan that the righteous, that the righteous are trying to get rid of. You are that same person and the same follower of Satan that the righteous are trying to rid of this planet. You're that person. So I think you have to think about the way you use it, if you're using it, if you're gaining that knowledge, if you have that knowledge. Because even the elite will be deceived, y'all. Just because you have the powers and the knowledge, that don't mean that you have awoken, that you have woke, that God has put his hands on you. That don't mean just because you have something tangible, don't mean you have true power. So I'll say it all that to say this, y'all. So we didn't wake up one day and just begin to steal, kill, and destroy one another. We didn't wake up one day and just decided to kill one another, man, and steal from one another and deceive one another. It was all orchestrated. It was all orchestrated long, long ago by your enemy. Your enemy that you go to sleep with. The enemy that you wake up with. The enemy that teaches you your history. the enemy that show you these commercials, the enemy that writes your laws, the enemy that sell you cars, the enemy that print you money, the enemy that sell you houses, sell you clothes, the enemy that you go to school with, the enemy that you ride the bus with, the enemy you see in the grocery stores. They're there. And they stole this knowledge and use it against you. It's yours. It was supposed to be yours by inheritance. But they stole your blessings and now use it to control you. And I'm going to tell you something. That knowledge is so, so powerful, y'all. It is so, so powerful that the knowledge is a bomb. It's a silent bomb itself. Like, share, and subscribe, y'all. You are the code you seek.